Today's video is about questions I'd like to ask in the CBC thread. Let's dive into the main content. I'd like to ask about the oldest devil fruit encyclopedia. How many years has it been around? Who was the author? And where were they from? If there were any devil fruits known since that time, I'd like to know about them.
I'd like to know the details of the Rocky Port incident and the connection between Sora, warrior of the sea, and Sanji's mother, Sora. There are probably many questions about this, but I wonder if it will ever be explained in the main story.
I'd like to ask if there are any devil fruit users among the celestial dragons, and if not, why that might be. Also, are the 5 elders devil fruit users?
If none of the celestial dragons have eaten a devil fruit and there's a legitimate reason why they shouldn't, it could also be one of the reasons why they didn't accept Doflamingo. I'd really love to know.
I'd like to know if Aramaki wore clothes for his mission in Marijuis. I mean, as long as he's strong and does his job properly, no one probably cares if he's half naked.
I'd like to know why Whitebeard used to have Whitey Bay on his crew but now doesn't have women as combatants.
Of course, it's gotta be the details of the Rocky Port incident. What happened between Law, Kobe, Blackbird, and Wang Zi? It's like everyone in that world knows about it, but we know nothing.
I'm really curious about the swordsmiths who forged Yubashiri and Shusu. With Tengwama Hitetsu and Kosaburo appearing in the main story, it's even more intriguing.
There are so many intriguing things about Wano swordsmiths. If Tengwama Hitetsu, who forged the Sandei Kitetsu, is actually Kozuki Sukiyaki, and the Nidei Kitetsu was forged by his ancestor Kitetsu, does that mean the Kitetsu line is part of the Kozuki family? Who forged the Shodei Kitetsu? And how did it end up in the hands of the celestial dragons?
In the world of One Piece, the North Blue and South Blue should theoretically have the North and South poles, right? So, the South isn't necessarily warm, yet we have the term tropical islands. This probably reflects Japanese usage. More accurately, these are tropical climates, right? Also, Luffy thinks of the South Blue as warm, which suggests that Fuchsia Village is in the northern hemisphere. I've been thinking about this for a while, but it feels like nitpicking, so I haven't sent it in. But I'm really curious about the last part in particular.
I'd like to ask if Ace's necklace was meant to match Dayton's.
I want to know the order in which Vegapunk, Caesar, Queen, Judge, and Stussy joined Mads. Also, was Vegapunk always the leader, or was there someone else before him?
Since it's already the final arc, if there isn't enough time to show it in the main story, I'd love for Oda to reveal these details in the CBC. I want to hear about Brooks' time as the captain of the Royal Guards in the West Blue, why he became a pirate, and other such things.
I thought it would be covered in the Vegapunk arc, but it seems like it might exit without being addressed. So, I want to know how to feed a devil fruit to an object and how devil fruits are passed on.
The average lifespan of all races not yet officially disclosed. I'm curious if there are any changes if someone is a half or has some blood in Thembi the way. Please tell us Oda-sensei, the secret to Korea's youthfulness as well.
Crocodile lectured Luffy on the spirit of being a pirate, but then stated he was in it for business. In cover stories and movies, he seems to still have a desire to become Pirate King, yet he prioritizes his utopia. I really want to know which is his true intention.
I'd love to see the current state of events if certain key moments had or hadn't happened. For example, what would have happened to Drake if he hadn't experienced the events on Minion Island? What would Kobe and Helmeppo be like if they hadn't met Luffy? I'm curious to know how these characters' lives would have turned out without these significant turning points. That wraps up today's video. Please like and subscribe. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask Oda-sensei? If so, feel free to leave them in the comments below.